since our last upload, and I'm hoping to fix that in the future. We got a few things we want to talk about tonight involving the Switch Lite. Is it a good idea, bad idea? I don't know, but we're definitely going to find out. This music is brought to you by the one and only XP38 Piano Jam 1. Let's encourage this man to do some more. Go over and give him a subscribe. Thumbs up the video. Let him know that the Game Talk sent you and that you love his music as much as we do. What's going on tonight, man? How's it going?
Going pretty good, my dude. Sorry, I muted myself through the mixer.
It's all good. Yeah, man.
Going good, man. 2 weeks of well, you did a show. We've not been gone that. Well, there really hasn't been any really stuff to talk about. And plus, you've been really busy. You've been busy
coming off
dealing
with vacation and dealing with stuff at home and
personal life
stuff. Yeah.
And then our times have been really shitty.
Dude, like, I swear, like, we've had the worst timing with each other because anytime, like, I'm about to go to bed, you're just coming on. Or vice versa. Like, I'm just coming on, and you're like, peace out, I'm going to bed, guys. This is not a sponsored video.
No.
Wired. Stuff's actually pretty good. I actually do enjoy this stuff quite a bit. They had it on sale over at Fort Mojave's Safeway, I think, and it was $1 a can, so I picked up like 20 of them.
Oh, right on, dude. $1 a can, that's not bad. $20 for 20 cans. You can't even get a case of Monster for that.
Mm-hmm.
Case of Monster is going to set you back about $40 dude, nowadays.
No, you know what, dude? I don't know. I think, you know how Monster has like the big ass Fat Boys that you could buy?
Yeah.
The really big ones. They look like they're almost a gallon in a can. That's how big they are.
Yeah.
I had one of those, and it took me a while to get through, but I got sick off of it. Like, I didn't drink a lot of it at once. Like, I didn't even drink this much of it. Like, I probably maybe had like 2 or 3 sips out of it, and I got sick, dude.
Well, I got the Black Ops 4 box because, my Walgreens had them, and, the shitty part is the code doesn't even work. For double XP, that sucks. So I guess the promotion ended. The promotion ended, and they're still selling that shit. Like, that sucks, dude. Well, I got it for a deal. I got it for $3. I got a 4-pack for $3. I can't complain.
That's not bad.
Not bad. So do you want to kick it off with the sensitivity? You want to kick that off with this?
Yeah, because and this is something I've been sort of battling for years here on YouTube, and I think you have too, to a certain degree.
Well, it's everything. It's not just gaming. It's anything.
It's not just gaming, but nonetheless, it still is very prominent, and that is religion. You're not allowed to talk about it, or you're a piece of shit. You're not allowed to talk about politics because no matter what you say, you're wrong.
Yep.
You're not allowed to talk about your favorite food here on YouTube because then you're going to be told you're a pleb or you're a POS for liking certain things. It's unhealthy for you. And then you're going to have people trying to tell you how you should live your life. And then gaming. Gaming is starting to get to that category where you're not allowed to talk about it because people get so wrapped up in their purchases. Like, they get unbelievably wrapped up. And it's gotten so bad to the point that you go and say, hey, you should try this, or you should try that, and they take it as you are literally bashing their preferred platform. That doesn't make
That's
sense
correct.
to me. It doesn't make
sense.
It's
like, I recently just went through it where it got highlighted on my channel. You obviously know what happened with that. It's people in general nowadays. It's like, if you say you agree to disagree at a certain point because you don't want to hear the white noise, you're at fault still going on.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what I've noticed is Epic Games, don't talk about it, because if you do, you are looked at as a sinner, technically, as a bad person. Even if you remotely say, hey, I'm buying Borderlands on this platform and I'm going to play it because my friends are playing it, you are looked at as a sinner. Technically. Oh, what? You're not waiting this 6 months?
You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. I mean,
And if you, I'm not, and I've had this argument with people, and I know people are getting tired of hearing about Epic Games, but I hear it every day. I hear about Epic Games all the time out of people's mouths, and it's becoming white noise to me.
Every day on our servers, every time I come into them, somebody has something to bitch about when it comes to Epic Games. I'm like, dude, we've been over this like a million times. Come on. Just
what's up, JC Gaming?
Just let it go. JC Gaming, what's going on, bro? Wait, is that Junie? Is that you, Junie?
I don't know. I think it's just really weird. I think it's weird how people are just sensitive nowadays when it comes to things.
They're extremely sensitive, dude. Extremely. And, like, we used to think that it was only the console platform guys that got this way. But as of lately, soon as that Epic Store launched, dude, PC guys have shown that they can be just as childish as console platform guys.
Well, what I don't understand is it's, if you like, they say Steam is this godlike platform, and I hear this all the time and this is the Epic Games argument. I hear Epic Games is so bad, but take a look at Steam in the last 5 years. What have they done? Like, I'm not hearing anything to do about Steam. Like, what has Steam done? They haven't changed their interface. Their customer service is not existing.
Yeah.
And then I keep hearing, oh, well, Epic Games is shafting the fans. What about Steam? They keep promising every year we are going to do first party, and then they pull that off the table. Then they decided to come out with, what is Steam Machine? And then that's just a DOA, SOL, out of luck platform. And everybody tells me Steam is all that could be, but I don't see it. I really don't. I love Steam. Don't get me wrong. I love Steam, but
yeah, so
it's...
I spent a lot of money in the last month with them.
But I just don't understand. What is Steam doing to innovate? So you have Epic Games coming out and getting, buying first party out, buying developers so they can have first party to offer. And
it's not even permanent usually. It's like a temporary deal that goes on for like a year. They're just copying what Microsoft and Sony both have done. That's all they're doing. It's not a big deal.
And another thing that, that I love to hear about this argument is, especially on the Borderlands, well, I'm going to go pirate this. If you're gonna hurt the developer in anything, this is just anything, or you don't like what a group of people are doing, don't buy in. Because those same people that are gonna pirate the game that are petty are gonna also advertise it.
And a lot of people, and a lot of people don't seem to understand, right? Like, a lot of those kind of deals are usually the amounts of money that will help the developer in the long run. Because what they offer is usually sometimes what their sales won't even make in the first year. They're pretty big. That's a lot of money. It's a big chunk of change. That's a big chunk of change. That would be it would be dumb not to take them up on their offer. You know what I mean? Like, if a developer comes to you and says, "Hey, we're gonna offer you 3.6 mil. We know that the budget of this game was only a few $100s and some free software, but it looks really good for what you've done. Nobody knows about you, but we want to make you the prime interest on our website, and here's a few $1 million to do that." That will more than likely cover your entire year's wages, and you probably won't make much more than that on sales as it is, if even close to $100,000 after everything's said and done off of just your sales alone. So to me, it's a good idea. It's a good idea to take some of these guys up on their offer, depending on who it is, of course.
Let's make an example here. Shenmue 3, okay? Shenmue 3, for instance, and I've heard this thrown back at me. Here, I'll show that.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Yeah, it was shitty.
I agree with that, but at the end of the day too, and I've had this argument back and forth with that argument. My thing is I'm with developers, I'm with developers on the notion of making more money. So when it comes to Shenmue 3, I get all the marketing and whatnot behind it, selling it for Steam, I get that. But I also get on a lot of these Indiegogo and Kickstarter and all these sites, I understand as well that they do give you the disclaimers in their policies that it is subject to change. If you do a lot of research on the matter, they literally tell you things could be subject to change.
But
and that's what happened with Shenmue.
But like my thing is though, like why didn't they? A lot of these people that got mad, right? And they have every right to be mad. I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, I'm not denying that.
No, they have every right to be mad, right? But why didn't they just go and issue a refund?
Yeah, that was the one thing I didn't understand. It took them forever to come to that point.
Couldn't you just be like, hey, I want a refund? You know what I mean? Like, just call it a day. You know what I mean? Get your money back. No harm, no foul. You get your money back, and you just don't play the game for another year. You know what I mean? Because I think it's only a year contract, right, for Shenmue 3? Like, they're going to be on there for a year?
I think it's permanent on Epic Games. I think they're leaving it on Epic Games because they signed a major deal. The developers did of that game to Epic. Yeah, I could be wrong with that. My information could be wrong. But, I get why people are mad, but at the same time...
I agree, JC. No, I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that. A lot of developers are starting to do that way at the last minute, pulling out and doing really shady things. So I get it. What I don't understand is people like getting their chest all pumped up. And like, if you say, for instance, what happened to me recently, I say it's capitalism in its finest. You're watching it. Capitalism happens everywhere, especially with big business and everything. It happens every day. I mean, but I just don't understand why people are like putting Epic Games to this high pedestal where we have to rage and pitchfork and knife out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you need to go hold Steam, and you need to go hold Steam to that accountability at that point too.
And see, and that's my thing, dude. That is my bitch right now. Like, aside from the Shenmue stuff, right? This was before Shenmue, by the way. This uproar about Epic Games, like it was before Shenmue even became a thing on Epic Games. People have had issues with Epic Games since its very conception. Okay, if Steam said, let's offer Shenmue 3 as an exclusive, do you believe that they would have gotten the same backlash as the Epic launcher?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, because I'll tell you why. Because people are all happy that Steam's doing this, that, and the third. Steam can't do no wrong. But here's the problem with that. With all of that, Steam can sit here all day long, but as I said, they haven't upgraded their interface in God knows how long.
They're working on it. They're actually working on it, but yeah.
Well, they're working on it, but it's far in between.
Another 20 years, we'll get it, but don't worry.
To me, with Steam, if you're gonna hold Epic Games to this high standard of pitchfork and knife, you need to go over to Steam. Why is this pin-up frustration against Epic Games happening when Steam is doing the same? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Let's read. Capitalism is great, but fair comparison is not something like Epic that only has a few degrees of separation to Tencent. A Chinese business, like all businesses in China, have a degree of state of backing.
But honestly, JC, think about it, dude. Like,
Well, that was Caesar, though. Caesar said that.
Right, but no, JC says underneath it, Steam can do no wrong. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Which I think he's actually kind of agreeing with us on that. You know what I mean? Like, I think, JC, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but it makes sense, though, right? Like, I'm pretty sure in your gaming circles, you've got people that you know that praise Steam to high heaven about everything. But like, have you noticed in, say, like the last, what? It's been, what, 10 years, 11 years since we first covered the Steam OS?
Yeah.
Back when we were doing Night Owl Gaming, which is similar to this, we covered this. We covered that Steam was on the verge of launching its first OS. And we were hyped for it. Like, we were undoubtedly probably the most positive podcast talking about it. Because we wanted something different than Windows. Windows is good, but gaming on a Linux, a Linux-based but gaming-centric OS with the possibilities of better performance sounds fantastic.
Yep.
And they go from that to, we're gonna discontinue our OS. And that that was just recently. That happened because of the whole thing with Chronicle or whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, the people that are behind Ubuntu. And another thing is, like, Steam pulled out of Linux, which is very surprising to me. They put all this effort into Proton and making it into a thing, and then they just pull out at the last minute, which is very defeating to me when it comes to Linux. I get Linux is getting better with gaming, and Linux is actually able to play DirectX 12 games under DXVK, which is cool. And Proton just set it overdrive, where you could play pretty much every Steam game, even the ones that weren't compatible, you could play them in OpenGL mode and have a good experience. And now with Steam kind of just going, well, because of Ubuntu, and we don't want to do a 64-bit operating system or 64-bit software for Linux, we're just going to pull out. And to me, that's a huge slap in the face to the Linux community. That's a huge slap in the face to people that want alternatives to Windows 10, that are looking for an alternative. And if you want to talk about Epic Games being so bad, talk about Steam pulling the carpet underneath people that were really hyped up for Linux to become the next best thing since sliced bread.
Well, look at what they did with their when they first announced their brick systems, which was supposed to be a Valve-centric, with an OS installed, gaming console. That's how they marketed this platform. It was a gaming console, all right?
Yeah.
And when they first announced it, they said that they were going to work on it, that they were going to push to marketing, that they were going to sell it off of the Steam page itself. They were making this thing into this huge thing. They even had their top engineers coming out doing reviews, interviews online, people talking about the brick systems, and everybody was getting so hyped up for it because you saw this little tiny brick system that could run games like Civ 5 at full PC spec.
And they also had they had Dell behind them too, making was it X51s or what was it, Steam machines?
Right.
At one point.
But I was about to get to that point. They said that it was only going to be on this one platform. Nobody else was going to make them. At the last minute, just before they announced their launch date, they go, we're turning this into for everybody to do it. It went from a centralized console to a multi-platform console, which was supposed to be centralized from Steam to begin with. This is what Steam does. They promise these huge, grandioso things, and they back out of it at the last minute. Just like they did with the OS, like they did with the Steam Bricks machines. Now, well, what else are they going to promise? You know what I mean? Like, I don't even want to think about anything they're going to ever promise in the future.
If they can focus on first party, and I've said that, I said this to Metro, if they can focus on first party and actually bring out games people want, right? Like Half-Life 3. Dude, if they would release that, finally. They lost their director for that game. The director said, well, I had a script ready to go for it. It was close to being developed, but if they're not going to utilize me, I'm going to go somewhere else for my time. And they've been sitting on this. They've been sitting on, like Left 4 Dead. There was articles, whatnot, hyping that game up. And What did they do? They sat on it.
And look at Dota. What was that? Dota Artifact, the free-to-play card game that everybody was loving there for a minute because it was actually competing with Hearthstone.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it went to fucking pay to win. Just like that. Boom. Killed their community. They didn't even so much as bother as respond to anybody on PC about it. And I'm
calling...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm going to call it. Gabe Newell is the Vince McMahon of gaming. I'm calling it now.
Vince McMahon? That's pretty accurate. That is
because
pretty accurate.
look at Vince McMahon. He comes out recently. This was in the last 6 months. Came out and said, "Oh, we're listening to you guys. We're listening to the fans. We're going to come out with a better product. We're not going to do the whole put you to sleep." And guess what they did? They lied. They kept doing the same garbage. And that's what Steam keeps doing. And obviously people are blind to what's going on. But if Epic Games or Good Old Games or anybody buys exclusives outside of Epic, they're in the right. They're just in the right. And people will bat an eye to it and shrug their shoulders and be like, that's just Good Old Games for you. They just bought their shit.
Well, what do you mean, Good Old Games?
GOG.
Oh, yeah. Well, Good Old Games, like, but there's a reason for that, though.
What I'm saying is basically my point is if any other company did it, right, bought exclusives, right, like Good Old Games, if it didn't have Epic Games on it, right, Epic Games name, let's say it was a brick company, let's say shit on a brick, blah blah blah, example, and they bought out, let's say XYZ company. and let's just put it out there, if they did, this is hypothetical, people wouldn't bat an eye to it. But if Epic Games bought X, Y, and Z company, people would lose their minds. Oh my god, it was on Kickstarter. Holy shit, they made these promises to be on the brick company, and oh my god, Epic Games came in and took the idea. It's like Epic Games can't win because, you know, people see Tencent Games behind it. They see all this stuff behind it, but they don't understand, is there a new company? I mean, they're not a new company. Sorry. They're new to this whole...
Yeah, they're new into the PC gaming market and launching at the forefront. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is going to be things that we're not going to like. I don't agree with everything.
No, absolutely not, yeah.
And the other thing that I hear all the time is, oh, they're exploiting your data. Well, here's a fact. If that's the case, you're worried about that, then take a look at Google that recently just got in trouble. They're listening into your Google searches now, voice searches. Alexa does it. Facebook's been doing it for years. They were selling it off to the Russians. So if you're worried about your computer being exploited, then you shouldn't be on the internet. Because everything exploits your computer. Nowadays, anytime you sign your life away to a platform, they're definitely taking your data. Even if you uncheck the box, they still do it anyway.
Yeah.
Who would be the Bischoff and Heyman? That's tough. That's tough. I would say like Bischoff would probably have to be I would say the Ubisoft, and then I would have to say Heyman would be the Origin. Honestly, if you were going wrestling wise, ECW would be kind of that Origin store, and then Bischoff would actually Heyman would be the Xbox store right now. Paul Heyman would be the Xbox store because Phil Spencer can't do no wrong right now, and that was ECW for a while there. They couldn't do no wrong until the chinks in the armor came out, and then the wheels fell off the wagon. Then we found out that Heyman was an asshole, and we found out he was working with the enemy anyway. And then ECW was floodering money and not paying the wrestlers. And then ECW went belly up, and then we all cried the day that Vince McMahon stepped up and said, I'm buying this company. And then we were just like, shit. Great.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then WCW, we all know the history. Ric Flair and Sting, and then Vince McMahon coming out saying, well, I got WCW's fate in my hands. And yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, I think we got Steven pretty much covered.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Switch Lite. Switch Lite.
People triggered over that, too.
All plastic. I could care less.
Same.
It has less battery life, right? Because they changed out the chip.
No, more battery life than the original Switch. Different processor, different GPU. It's actually a a slightly better GPU and CPU.
So could you say technically that this is a Switch Lite Pro?
No, it's technically speaking, it's a dumbed down version of the original Nintendo Switch to a lot of extents. I get where they cut corners. I get it. They cut corners and they made it pretty much a PS Vita, but Nintendo edition, technically.
A Vita Nintendo edition. Except this actually sells.
This will actually sell, and I get why they're doing it. They're axing a market right now that's sinking. Like the 3DS and 2DS market, really, I don't hear people talking about it very much anymore. And I'm looking at the numbers, and it's bleeding. So they need to do something to keep that market going.
No, they've been trying to kill the 3DS off since like 2014.
Well, it kept going because a lot of people kept it going, which is not a bad thing. I think the 3DS and 2DS are great things.
Yeah, I have.
But
I got mine like a few years ago. I love it.
But we don't know anything. We don't know everything in the console. We know it's a 5.5-inch display. It's an inch smaller than the original Switch. It has a different chip than the Nintendo Switch. The rumbles are going to be different. Battery life is increased. You get more battery life on this thing. Same screen. We don't know if it's a plastic screen for on top of it. We don't know that yet. It's coming in several different colors. And it's not going to be dockable. It's not going to be dockable. But that's a missed opportunity on Nintendo. And one thing I don't understand is they could have brought out a dongle or a different type of dock. Really, to be frank, and sold that off to the side for more money, and Nintendo could have made that. Really.
They could have. They could have.
But they did this as, well, we see our other handheld market's not doing well, so we're just going to release this, and this is how it's going to be. Everybody...
I don't know why... Dude, if they want to kill their 3DS off, all they got to do, put a 3DS port right in the fucking console. Boom. Done. No more 3DS, because now there's no reason to have one. Simple.
Well, we don't know. We don't know either. Is it going to be a hybrid system in the card reader part for the Nintendo Switch? Is it going to be compatible with 3DS stuff? We don't know this yet because they didn't give us.
Oh God, I would love that.
They didn't give us anything. They didn't really give us anything at the keynote of it. They just said, "Oh well, you're going to have to buy." And this is another thing that Nintendo's missed opportunities. Having it, they could have had a dock and whatnot. They're basically telling you is, oh, if you want to play 1-2 Switch or any of these games that use Joy-Cons, you have to go off to the side and buy that. And that, to me, I get why people are upset at that point, because that's another $50-$60 that you have to spend.
You know what, though? Just wait until they come out with a revision, and it's going to be cheaper, and it's going to have all the shit with it. My 2DS came with the Power Brick. Remember the whole 2DS thing and the 3DS when they didn't come with Power Bricks? And everybody's all, well, if you have a DS, there's no reason to put it in there, and we're just going to charge you full price anyway. I waited until it was 50% from the original market price that they had it for. And it came with all the shit that I needed to just start gaming.
Yeah.
That's the best way to do it. Nintendo will eventually cave and listen to everybody when they see that their sales numbers are down.
And I'm going to take this from another show that I was listening over the weekend, the WAN show, Linus. I agree with Linus on one thing when he talked about it. If they bundle it in with 2 games included, then that's a deal to me.
Yeah.
To somebody, and who they're marketing to is not for you and me, the pro consumer that knows everything. We know all specs. We're always watching reviews. We know when a gimmick is a gimmick, when it's a joke, when it's not a joke. Honestly, it's for the people that don't have a desire to dock their system in and just want to sit comfortably on a couch, or maybe they don't have a luxury of getting to a TV. Maybe it's occupied all the time by a girlfriend, or you have a family and things like that. It's marketed for the average consumer. It's not marketed for us. You know what I mean? It's marketed for the average consumer that has no idea what they're buying. Literally, those people. It's not meant for us that go on YouTube and, no specs, that watch the big channels out there that will review this. And me and you already stated we're not buying it.
Yeah.
I'll wait for a Switch. I'll wait for a Switch Pro where I get the actual upgrade.
I love my Switch, dude. I love my Switch. I could go.
Same.
I could just go sit down on my couch, play Paladins on my Switch, not worry about shit. I mean, it's just a great platform. I love it.
JC Gaming says, I'll let you read that.
He says, unrelated, I've played A Plague Tale, would recommend. I actually looked into that game during the summer sale, and it looks pretty interesting, actually. I watched a few Twitch streamers play it. Looks really good. It's a pretty game.
Another game that's really good, if you can get it on sale right now, or you can find it on Prime Day, is Bloodstain. Great game. Hard as hell, but fun as shit.
Bloodstained?
Bloodstained.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just like
505 games, man. The one you were playing for a while there and had a kick-ass
the
time?
one, yeah, the one that I see now. To me, if you are going to back a game, make sure that it's by somebody who you know will not fuck you. Simple as that. And I'm not even gonna say that they won't fuck you, but at least be comfortable with your purchase. You know what I mean?
Well, because I had an issue with another game that I bought for my Switch that was defective, they gave me my whole refund for both games. That's why I don't have it anymore. Which was cool. My GameStop's always cool with me, but minus that, other people have had shitty experiences with GameStop, and I don't blame you being mad at their company.
Caesar, the one that's on the market right now, if you're talking about the OG Switch, yeah, it's still hackable.
Yeah, the OG one is.
That's the one I have, yeah.
What I've been urging people to do, if you really want to get it into the Switch market, just go on eBay or like any of these places and look renewed or refurbished. You can get hella good deals. Even Nintendo's website, you can get a refurbished one for basically the same price as what the Lite's coming in at.
Seriously, get a refurb from Nintendo themselves. Don't go to any other site, because like you go to one of these other sites, and more than likely you're gonna get the GameStop treatment when they say it's refurbished, and it's really not. It's just they cleaned it out and they jerry-rigged it.
Or you can go to the marketplace and find somebody that's selling their own.
Yeah, that's actually more trustworthy than going to GameStop.
Yeah, you could probably find a really good deal.
But the Switch in general, I really do enjoy. It's a good platform.
Like, I think we were talking to Randall earlier about the whole Switch Lite, and I see him getting one. The way he was explaining to me, he doesn't want to sit and dock it. He just wants to sit and chill back and vape and just play it while he's on chilling in his bed or
just
on a couch.
Dude. Yeah, just kicking back, not having to worry about shit, playing the games that you like to play. I mean, the only downfall about the Switch is it drains power pretty fast depending on what you're playing. But if you're playing, say, like Stardew Valley, Terraria, you're going to be there for hours without it hardly draining anything. But if you're like me or Rev here and you play Splatoon 2, you play stuff like that, then yeah, your Switch is going to die in like 2 hours. That's like the only drawback, though. Other than that, the other option is to play it docked, and it's not a bad deal either. So, I mean,
I play mostly my Switch docked-wise. I don't do it portable. I hardly touch it portable. I don't know, because my eyes being so bad, it's just really hard to look at it, I wish that, they can zoom in the screen a little bit, or like, make it bigger.
Yeah.
For me, it's really hard. I hope with the next Switch they go bigger screen.
And
that's what I'm hoping.
And there's always this thing that I've always said about Nintendo: when they upscale, they really upscale. Like, they upscale well. They don't upscale shitty. Like, say, the PSP, when you bought the AV cables and you put it on your big screen, that looked like garbage. Like, it was trash. Even if you mod your 3DS, like, if you go and you get the HDMI mod put into it, it scales extremely well. Like, it does a good job, even though it's not meant to. Nintendo products just do that so well. I mean, I love it.
Another thing on the Switch, I guess one of the controllers on the Switch itself, inside of the unit's been upgraded. They didn't explain what when it came out. Nintendo hasn't explained what controller has been inside the Switch, what chip, what process has been upgraded. I do know the processor is a little bit more refined. I guess they made it smaller. The reason why you can get better battery life out of it. They're promising 2 more hours of battery life over the original Switch.
Huh.
I think that's reaching, but if that's the case, that's impressive to me.
So
on a little...
so what you're saying is a controller will outlast the actual platform itself?
They're saying the controller, the chip on the motherboard.
Mm-hmm.
The controller, they upgraded something. One of the chips they've upgraded to fix a certain problem that they had with the original Switch. Now, I'm assuming, and this is what I'm assuming the modding community is going to come together, and we're going to find out when people get it in their hands if it can be dockable. And I'm assuming somewhat, if somebody figures it out, then that answer will be resolved.
All it is it's pretty much a Switch without an HDMI port, right? That's all it is.
Well, they have a USB Type-C. So we're gonna find out when people get it into their hands and start testing it, right? Like Tektronix fix.
I wonder if they'll be able to do the USB Type-C to either HDMI or DisplayPort.
Yeah, right.
They could. That's what they did. That's what they were doing with the original Apple phones. Remember when nobody could figure out how to put it on the screen, and so people were figuring ways out to put USB Type-C to Thunderbolt or no Thunderbolt to HDMI.
No, we're gonna see Tronix fix. We're gonna see a lot of these big fixed channels like Respawn Wave. We're gonna see when they open it up. Does it have the same USB Type-C controller on it? Did they get rid of it and just make it into a charge port? We're gonna find out. And when we find out if it does have that, dock, the HDMI part of it, I'm gonna just laugh my ass off so hard. I'm gonna be like, they could have just switched. They just could have, sold the dock off to the side, made more money. But then that's a great thing. Then you can go out and buy a Switch Lite for cheap, and then buy a dongle off the side and still have that dock experience. And I'm wondering what kind of rumble they're using, because they took out the HD rumble. Now we're gonna find out what rumble system they're using.
I really don't care about the rumble system, though. Honestly, I don't even use it. I have my shit turned off. I don't even.
Well, I'm fascinated to know what they did to get it down to that price. I'm fascinated in tech wise. How much compromise did they do to make this? I'm fascinated in that aspect. The nerd in me is like, I want to know how much sacrificing did they make to make this happen?
Well, so isn't it half the size of this? Isn't it smaller than
it's
this?
actually a size. What they're saying is it's a little bit bigger than a PS Vita.
So it's probably just a screen with slightly kind of shrunk down then, right?
Yeah, it's an inch different, and the bezels they're actually more. The bezels are actually more. Ooh. You have a screen protector on that?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, hell yeah, dude.
I was looking at that. It looked like it had fingerprints on that from distance.
Oh, it does, but it's on the screen protector itself. But yeah.
I got you,
dude. Yeah, this thing, dude, this.
Do you have a skin on that too?
No. This is just a black with the red and blue.
With the case on it too? I'm assuming.
Oh, the clear crystal case you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a skin at first. I was like, oh, is that a skin?
Oh no, it's a crystal case, yeah.
Gotcha.
Cheap little crystal case I bought on Amazon for $6. It came with
that's not bad at all.
Control grips and shit, and I got the controller. So here's the thing, right? Check these out. These get in the way of you trying to game. You put them on the Joy-Cons, it fucks with it. I don't know why. So yeah, but whatever. Yeah, I love this thing, dude. I don't think there's no reason for me to upgrade from this, dude.
Well.
This brings me enough joy that I don't need to do that.
Here's my Switch, just to show that one off. Yeah, see? Yeah.
That's pretty sexy.
Well, the Joy-Cons are not on it, but it is what it is. When I put it in the dock, I don't put the Joy-Cons. I have a third-party Switch dock. Yes, I know. Third-party Switch dock. Yeah, it doesn't sound advertising because they're known to brick, but I have one of the ones that are using pretty much Insignia, Best Buy brand. They've took the parts of a Switch dock and they just put it in their own dock, technically. That's why they're so well made.
There you go.
And I just wanted something that kept my Switch cool. I wanted to be in an open space because I heard the bending is real when you put it into an actual Switch dock.
Bro, I'm surprised with the weather we've been having lately that my shit hasn't started doing that yet.
Yeah, I'm surprised with the weather I've had. But the Switch Lite coming in at $199, I get where people are going to be buying it. I understand it. I get what Nintendo's doing. It's not marketed for us. And I'm okay with that. I'm not buying it anyway, so my opinion is kind of just
I think
my opinion,
this way, if they want to make more money, so be it. You know, anytime Nintendo brings something out, it usually sells pretty good. With the Wii U as an exception and the GameCube, but...
Dude, I want to buy a Wii U, though. And I have reasons for that. I want to play Wii Sports. I do. I want to play Wii Sports. I want to play that baseball and the bowling again. I miss those days. I did
boxing, dude. The boxing was pretty fun.
The boxing was fun.
Boxing was dope.
Because my mom and myself were talking about that, man. Man, Wii Sports, man. We played those for hours. And then I could probably find a Wii for cheap.
What's that blocks game that they is it Boom Blocks or something like that? Like,
I think so.
That game is hella fun, dude.
Like I used to love just playing, put the wrist strap on with the Wii remote and just playing Home Run Derby all day long.
I still got my Wii U, man. I still have it. The battery sucks on it though. Like that was the biggest downfall of that platform. The batteries died, and when they die, dude, like when you try to play it plugged in, it still dies. It still turns off.
Make 7 different versions of the Switch.
Yes.
Like they did.
Yep, they're going to.
No, they're for sure. For sure they're going to. They're gonna have like next year. I guarantee it. They're not gonna call it the. They're not gonna call it the Switch Pro. They're gonna call it the Switch XL. Guarantee it. The way their marketing scheme is, it's just hitting Switch XL, and then that'll totally eliminate the original Switch altogether.
It's bound to happen.
And I'll tell you, they will be doing dynamic resolutions. Just like the PlayStation and Xbox, they'll be on par with or somewhat close to an Xbox One and PS4 standard. They won't get to what these new consoles are doing, and I don't expect Nintendo to. Everybody is telling me, oh, it's going to be better than a PlayStation. I don't think so. I think the next one's going to be on par, 1080p 60. It's going to run a little bit better. We're going to have a bigger screen, and it's just going to be a better experience. It's not going to be like a complete overhaul. I don't think that. I just think it.
And then the 3D Switch.
The 3D Switch. That'll be funny. When it has 2 screens.
It's twice.
I hope.
It's like twice the battery power, but we add a 3D function to it, so it's gonna last even shorter than the original Switch.
Yeah. You know, it's funny.
I could see Nintendo doing it.
You know, it's funny. Nintendo. Speaking of Nintendo, remember when people were making a big deal of 3D, and then they were like, "Oh, hey, by the way, we're not going to tell you to turn off the 3D with a Switch that's, you know, on the actual display. What we're going to do is we're going to release a 2DS because we could do that."
But you know what, though? Like, they had really shitty screens for the 3D. Like, it was really bad screens. Like, really, really bad screens.
It made the Ford. Remember back in the day, what was it, the Evo 3D? The HTC phone, it made that look like a saint. It really did.
It did. Like, they were really, so those 3DSs were originally TN panels, and they were shitty TN panels. They weren't even good TN panels. So the darkness. So what would happen is if you use the 3D functionality of your 3DS for too long, over time, the more you used it, the darker the screen got.
Yep.
And even if you turned it off, the damage is already done. Like you look at it, you could barely see the color vibrance. So that's why I'm glad I waited, because my shit has an IPS panel on it. Love it.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that, right? You know what's funny about it is when Nintendo did that, they made it hard to get into the dang thing to replace the screens itself. I've watched videos on how to replace screens on a 3DS, and it's just ridiculous.
The iSwitch, now powered by iOS.
that would actually be cool.
That would be kind of neat, actually. I might actually buy one of those.
Yeah, remember, no earphone jack, so people can, so they can go on stage and say, we did it in courage.
Well, good thing I got a high-end pair of Bluetooth Skullcandy / Logitech.
Hey, don't let certain people hear that, that we're all about that Bluetooth life. Actually, Bluetooth, I'll be real, sometimes Bluetooth stuff sounds not too bad. Like I have a Bluetooth
Yeah,
speaker
like,
that sounds pretty damn decent.
it isn't bad, dude. Like, honestly, like, if you're gonna use headphones and a headphone jack, getting earbuds, right, is shitty. And that's what I didn't understand about people's bitch about it, because they're like, I can't use my earbuds. The earbuds, more than likely, that you're using are extremely trash. Like, bad.
$9 skull candy special.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't even sound good, right?
Well, my next pair of earphones, earbud wise, is gonna be Bear Dynamics for $24.
Yeah, boy.
And they even tell you on they have a wrapping on it that says you have to do a burn-in, you have to burn them in. They even tell you on the thing. Okay, so to let you know why your comments are being hidden and whatnot, is because YouTube's new algorithm. Blame YouTube on that. YouTube is screwed the pooch again. They fixed a lot of things and then they broke a lot of other things.
It's like, yeah, YouTube's finally doing it. Oh, no, fuck. Like, right when you think you could actually, like, start bragging about YouTube again, they fucked that up. It's like, god damn it.
So I have a Bluetooth speaker and it's extremely loud as fuck. Yeah, yep.
The Bluetooth speakers that have been coming out, like, they have been surprisingly good. Like, even the Anchor Bluetooth speakers that you can get that are waterproof that people have been using for their showers, man, like, somebody came into Target yesterday where me and my girl were, and he was blasting metal, and it sounded good. And he got the cheap Anchor one for like $20.
I think I have one made by, it's not an iFroggy or something like that. That I got at Sam's Club. That's waterproof and everything. That can go down 10 meters of water, and that thing sounds great. I have that in the bathroom. You know, when I'm taking a shower, just so I can listen to my iPhone. You know, music, Spotify. When I'm showering, and the damn thing's amazing. It sounds great. Battery life sucks on it, but hey, it's great sounding.
You know what's crazy is they actually rival. I mean, I know it's probably not hard because considering like Google doesn't exactly pay into the highest quality of stuff. But when Google first launched their shit, that was pretty loud. But some of these cheaper ones are outshining those. That's why like you don't see people talking about the Google stuff anymore. Same with the Amazon, the Echo stuff. Like, almost nobody talks about that shit anymore because you can go and buy yourself a Sonos system for cheap. Like, cheaper than that. And it sounds better. It's louder. And for some reason, like, Google's Smart Assistant works better on it, along with the Amazon's Assistant works better on it than their own product line. That's weird.
Well, and not including that... that a lot of these other speakers that are from known companies are not waterproof. That's why you're not hearing people talk about them, because, you know, a lot of us, you know, like to be on, you know, by our pools or, you know, want to go out to the beach, and you can't use the high-end Alexa stuff or the high-end Echoes and the, you know, the Google Dots and stuff like that. I mean, out there, they're not waterproof. And a lot of these other companies have made it waterproof. Like, you can go to Sam's Club right now and buy a Bluetooth speaker by the same company I bought from, still to this day, and it works great. You can submerge it in water. I've tested it. You can merge it in water and be fine. They have rubber gaskets on everything. It's great.
There you go, man. Showerproof, of course. I think even the new Apple smart speaker that's coming up is going to be waterproof. So that's going to be good.
Well, Apple already, there's rumors of EarPods 3, which is cool about EarPods 3. What they're talking about on EarPods 3 is you can, with the wireless charging, you can actually do what the Samsung's one do, where you can actually just snap it on the back and start charging your EarPods. And they'll be waterproof and the whole shebang. Apple's been revolutionary.
No. I think I'm going to do it right. I want to do it right, at least for the first time, and just so
Your house, and you want to have that extended length from your iPhone, that's where they shine. And what I like about it is I can walk to the other side of my room, my other side of the house, and it'll be on my desk, and I can still listen to my music in HD. Sounds amazing. The only problem is they're not noise canceling, and everybody else can hear them. I like the fact with the first gen, if you are going to go out and get some, get the first gen. The only difference between the two is the Hey Siri function, where You have to double tap. You do the side of your earbud instead of saying "Hey Siri."
Yeah, it's not a big deal though.
And you're getting a cheaper price for the originals. The originals are like $30 to $40 cheaper than the new ones that are out. They're using 2 different chips. Now the newer ones that are coming out, supposedly when iOS 13 officially gets released, which I've been enjoying iOS 13, dark mode and all that. They're gonna have the new earbuds that are coming out, and then they said they're gonna release actual headphones. Their actual own proprietary earphones, not made by Beats. Beats, they're kind of going away from kind of. Beats is going to be their own company. They're going to release their own shit under the Apple branch. So they're doing different things than what Apple's trying to do. They're going to release AirPods headphones or something like, or Air earphones, something like that are going to be their own design, which I'm okay with.
Dude, we went to, as you know, I went to Vegas for my vacation this past week. And of course, I had to revisit the Microsoft store.
Ooh.
This time, they had...
You walk away with anything?
No.
Damn.
Because if I did, dude, I would have...
You gotten bankrupt?
I would have... No, I wouldn't have gone bankrupt, but let's just say the money would have been tight.
Gotcha.
I tried their expensive headset.
Oh, they're Bluetooth ones?
The $249 Microsoft headphones. They're supposed to be like hi-fi min type quality, kind of like these. Mm-hmm. They were nice.
From what I've heard from everybody, really comfortable.
Nice. Oh, dude. So like the pleather, like I was expecting it to be like really like, heat. I mean, it gets really warm, but it didn't. And the sound canceling that these things have, dude.
In their app, so they have an app. They have an app for it. They have an app for it for the earphones, so you can actually engage how much noise canceling you want. And I'm like, man, earphones are getting creative now with freaking noise canceling. I love it.
So the Microsoft store was packed full of people this time around because they were doing their giveaway booth where you go in and you answer surveys, and they give you a bunch of shit. So
yeah,
tons of people in the store, packed. Loud as fuck. All their TVs are going. They had entire teams there playing Fortnite. And I guess they were kind of hosting like a mini tournament or something. And, I mean, it was just brimming with people, dude. So I had to fight my way back to these headphones. I couldn't even hear Val talking to me. She was like saying something to me about the screens or whatever. And I put these things on.
And you can't hear anybody.
Couldn't hear a single person, dude.
It's great.
Now,
you got some good earphones when they noise cancel very well.
Dude, like I couldn't believe it, dude. I was like, yo, like there's a reason why these things are expensive. And
Another thing,
that is a good reason to have.
So you guys didn't. So you guys know a little update. A little bit. I got a PS4 recently. Early birthday gift. I know my birthday is literally 3 days away from today, so. Happy 28th birthday to me, and I've been in, and people like, I don't understand. I got a lot of Microsoft friends, and they're just like, oh, you got a PlayStation? Oh God, why? And then I said, well, beggars can't be choosers when it comes to when family's giving you a PlayStation. Well, happy belated birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday, brah.
The 4th is on the when you have a birthday on the 4th, it's got to be amazing with fireworks. That has to be a
great day, dude. Like. That's an excuse twice to drink twice as much and eat twice as much.
And shoot off rockets and have some fun. Just make sure to be responsible with that and don't blow your hand off.
Bro, they're still firing off rockets near me. Like
Same, and people are just idiots. They don't understand.
Stupid, dude. They're so stupid.
But yeah, so I got the PlayStation 4 and some people they're like, "Oh God, why, Rev? Why?" I'm like, it's a birthday gift, I couldn't say no.
It's free.
It's free.
Like, come on.
I've been enjoying it ever since I've had it back. It's like I can play Call of Duty and not have to worry about, especially Black Ops 4. I don't have to freaking worry about how long do we have to sit in this lobby for.
Oh, you mean like the PC version?
Oh my god, the PC version, you sit forever. Like, oh my god. But I'm enjoying it. I know Brimstone's been talking about upgrading his Xbox because you got a year until the next one comes out. I don't know, man. That's tough because I've seen a lot of Xbox One X's go for really good prices right now, especially with Prime Day coming out and all this stuff happening.
That's why I was thinking about it, because then I could have one up in the living room. If I don't ever want to come down, I can just go and chat with you guys on Xbox Live chat up in my living room.
Or Brimstone can give it a rev. I'm just kidding.
Right. And
I'm kidding.
I could play all kinds of my shit there, dude. And, like, you guys could access the game chat through the PC. So, like, we're going to always have that way to talk to each other, which is cool. So that's what I've thought about it. Like, I've thought about just chilling on my couch.
Well, Amazon's doing the whole renewed thing with the whole Xbox thing. And from what I've seen on reviews, it's pretty much technically as new as you're going to get it for refurbished prices. Like, Amazon and the renewed thing they're doing lately is, like, I've heard nothing but good things. Like, I've seen reviews. I saw Tronics Fix buy an Xbox One X that was fully refurbished by Amazon themselves. And it looked like it was sent to Microsoft and just sent back to Amazon, and then they just resell it.
They probably did it. They probably did do that.
Yeah, and it looks completely brand new, and you're paying literally $50 to $60 difference. Like, between buying it new and, you know, buying it through Amazon themselves. Which is interesting. You get a controller, that system. Or you can go out to GameStop and buy the nobody's buying anymore Fallout 76, and they're trying to get rid of those, the white one. They're trying to get rid of those. Like, at my GameStop, they're like, hey, you know, they call me by first name. They're like, you know, you're always in here. You know, you're one of the good customers. You want to buy that Fallout 76, you know, bundle that nobody wants? And they can't get rid of them. And they're now lowering. GameStop has officially lowered the price to like $375, something like, or like $470, or like something like that.
That's Xbox
really, really
One X?
cheap. Yeah. The Fallout 76 bundle. They're really trying to get rid of that bundle.
If I had my tax returns earlier this year, dude. Oof.
Well, you gotta
consider it. But then I'm like, the new Elite 2 is coming out soon, and I'm thinking, the
new Elite 2 controller.
Yeah.
Well, it's there. You know, that's true too. If you play Xbox a lot, then I understand it with wireless, charging, and all that. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. New controller or new console.
Did you see that Microsoft released a battery charger? It's like it's like a sleeve charger. You just pop it in and plug it in and it charges. I'm like,
wireless charging. Yeah, wireless charging bag.
One of those. That seems like a cool idea.
With the Xbox One X, with the new Elite 2 controller, you put it in their case and it starts charging because it has the coils in the case itself for wireless charging, which is cool. You could drop it on a wireless charging pad too, which is cool.
Hell yeah, dude! And if the batteries are as good, or if not better than what they are now, dude, that's even better.
Well, what's just cool is they're going away from, which I'm grateful they're doing. They're getting away from having to always have AA batteries on hand. They're finally caving into that market and realizing, oh, we can, you know, make that market better, and we can add wireless charging functions.
But they should have been doing that though, because like everybody was praising them at the beginning of this generation about how good those batteries are. Like, if you could, I mean, those $20 batteries, man, they're worth the $20. Like, you're getting a good value there, because there have been times where I've had this controller on all the time for like a week straight, and it never died. Like, the new batteries.
Well, the new Elite controller, the battery's built in, and it has the coil built inside of it. The wireless charging coil, the Qi charging. I think that's what it is, the coil.
Yeah. Just
like what's in my iPhone, and you just drop it on a pad. Even their their case that you can put your controller in charges it as well, which I think is a win-win situation. Which I actually recently got rid of my Elite because I don't use it, and I didn't like the fact that it doesn't connect into Bluetooth. Like, I want to connect it to my phone to play, and I can't even do that. There is no Bluetooth on that controller. None.
Yeah, Yeah,
It
but it
irritated
feels so
me.
good though. Like I love the way that controller feels. The only other controller you can get right now that feels anywhere close to an Elite is this one right here. This is the Sport. If you guys can see it. Oh fuck, the light's drowning it out. This is the white and blue Xbox One Sport controller. The sticks on this is the only thing comparable right now to an Elite controller. And this is, I think this cost me, I think I got it on sale at Target for $30, marked down from $70. So, like, this controller is fucking, it's awesome. I love it. So,
Well, my next controller is going to be probably from, if they can get their, I don't think I'll be buying another controller. I think I'll be all right what I have. But the Elite had to go just because of the fact it was annoying the shit out of me. It was really bothering me. Like, what I liked about the Xbox regular controller, the One X or the One controller, was its Bluetooth. So I could pair that to my phone and start playing my mobile games. You can't do that with you have to have this guy. This dongle right here. This guy. And it's the only way it works. And that was a little annoying. And Bluetooth is where it's at, honestly. I think it's 5.0 now we're at. Literally. And that's what I like about the PS4 controller. I can just sync that up to anything I want, Bluetooth-wise, which is great. If you guys haven't heard, PCI 4.0 is now available on Ryzen boards. If you guys haven't heard that yet. And then AMD is now planning on stopping that from happening, which I think would be a bad move in their opinion, in my opinion.
you know, I'm going to play devil's advocate. There has to be a reason for that. There has to be a reason. Maybe they found something wrong with 4.0 on their boards, and that's why they're saying no to it.
So on X370,
that's the only thing I can think of, dude.
Well, the traces, it all has to do with the copper and the traces on the board. So the only thing I can think of in the matter is they want to block it because, hey, we just released new motherboards and we need to sell those right now out the ass with our new graphics cards. And we don't want people going and buying older boards. It would defeat the purpose why they brought out X570. So I understand why they're doing it. So I'm not mad over it. I'm just disappointed that, I was all excited. My X370 board got it. And then it's like, oh, you're going to take it away from me. Oh, well, damn. And really, to be honest, the only reason why you want PCI 4.0 really is just because of the data speeds when it comes to NVMe storage and things like that. Graphics cards are not going to take advantage of it for another good 3 years. And from what I was reading and seeing, it's not anything better than PCI 3.0. That's why you didn't see NVIDIA, when they released their super cards, go 4.0, because it would just be a waste of time. And speaking of the graphics card market, you were excited before we were going to do a show, I think it was a week ago, before you went on vacation. You were all hyped up about the 5700 XT. Saying how close it is to a 2080.
It was surprising. That's why, like, when you look at all these tech YouTubers and they do synthetic benchmarks, you're not getting actual real world performance, and that's kind of the reason why I stopped taking them seriously. Where like the majority of these guys, their audience, they take them seriously. I can't take that seriously because I've seen real world performances with this card, and it's neck and neck, dude. It's neck and neck. Like, but if you go to a synthetic benchmark, like, it'll tell you the opposite. It'll say it's just behind or it's far behind. But when you see real world performances, like some of these channels that do the actual clocks and stuff through gaming and video rendering, that thing is a rendering monster, first off. Secondly, it handles gaming like a 2080,
you wouldn't believe.
Like you wouldn't believe, yeah. It's an amazing value for $399. And you have a lot of these people, they're like, oh, it's a ripoff. That card's not worth it. Just go out and buy yourself a 2080 Ti. I'm like, are you high?
Well, I'll say this. The only thing about these new cards is the encoder. It's the same with the Vega cards. they digressed. But that's AMD's fault. That's not our fault. That's AMD's fault. They need to get together with companies and get their encoder together, because from what reviewers have stated, that from what I've seen is when the encoder works right on any AMD card, it's fantastically done. But AMD is kind of given up on the whole working on their own encoder for their chips and stuff, which sucks. Because if they can just get it right, sky's the limit. They just recently worked with the OBS team recently to bring out a fix because the Epos Fox complained enough. They finally in over 5 years, they finally brought over a new update to it. That's why you see on OBS, they call it AMD H264 or something like that, something new.
Yeah.
So they finally got around to fixing it, but it wasn't a permanent fix. There's still issues with it. And their encoder doesn't look anything better than NVENC, or looks worse than NVENC, actually.
But it does some weird shit though, like, cause like if you use that encoder in their software through Relive, the shit looks amazing. Like, it looks legit.
Yeah.
But you use that same encoder through OBS, and it's like, what the fuck's this garbage?
Right. Exactly. And they said they're working on it. They said that they're going to be listening to the community more about it, because mostly streamers use their encoders, and they do need to fix that stuff and get it right. So I think if enough people complain about it, I think AMD will fix it.
All right.
I don't think it...
We're coming up on an hour and 10.
Gotcha.
GOG supporting everything. Let's cover that real fast. Now, what did you mean by that? Because I didn't hear about this. I know you told me.
Okay, so GOG is going to be supporting all platforms. So, like, your games libraries on all platforms are going to be accessible. Your friends are going to be accessible on all platforms. They're doing something uniquely, what I've been asking for. One platform that does everything. So if I want to go and launch a BNet game, I can do that through Good Old Games and not have the Epic Games launch, or you mean the BattleNet launcher. If I want to go and, let's say, launch a Steam game without being in Steam, I could do that. Now, how they're doing it, beyond me. I think it's magic, but, you know, hey, witchcraft, dust, I don't know. But they said in a recent post that their latest beta is going to be you're going to be able to test, which I signed up for their beta testing for it, where you can sync all of your platforms into one place. Now, I don't know how they're going to do it with they said all platforms on PC, all launchers. So I'm assuming the Xbox store. I'm assuming that's going to be supported as well in this. So Good Old Games, I mean, they're trying to be the main proprietary launcher, and that's what I've been asking for. Now, how they separate your friends lists and stuff like that is beyond me.
They're gonna probably do an account link, like like what the Hi-Rez does, where like you can link all your accounts to all your games in one thing. So yeah, that's probably what they're gonna do. They're just do an account link. I know Twitch has been doing that. Mixer's been doing that for a long time now. Microsoft is doing that, where you can actually link your Microsoft account to your Steam account, along with your Origins account. So like, that's kind of cool. I mean, I really hope that shit works out good though.
So reading here, once you connect Galaxy 2.0 with your other platforms, it will import all of your games into one library. You will be able to see your friends' activities, online status, connected platforms, and all new libraries and friends. The features will be applied to your Good Old Games account and enhance your experience. And we are focusing on its design and protect your privacy and your data that belongs to you and will never be shared to third party. That's awesome. What they said in their statement. And they said, all gamers, we need to juggle between different clients to access their games and see what their friends are playing. Saying Kowalski, their manager director at Good Old Games, we believe gamers desire a better experience, and this becomes a driving force to redefine Good Old Games Galaxy client. Kowalski added, Good Old Games Galaxy 2 will be designed for all gamers and extended well beyond existing goodoldgames.com users. into PC and console platforms. And that's what they've been talking here. And then they said, here's what you're going to be getting. Import all your games from PC and consoles. Build and organize them into a master collection. Install and launch on any PC you own, no matter what platform. Keep track of all your achievements, hours played, and games owned. Customize your library, filtering, sorting, tagging, adding your own visuals like game backgrounds and covers.
That's kind of cool, actually.
And we said here, for your privacy, your personal data will never be shared with third party. We'll never spy on your data from your computer. With a single click, you can remove imported games and friends' data from our servers at any time, anywhere. That's what they state.
That's pretty awesome.
And they said your friends, bringing together your friends on all platforms. See their online status no matter what, on which platform your friends play on, or you can chat with them, vice versa. We see your friends as a cross-platform achievements, game time, milestones, recent played. And then they say one more thing here. See who master collections and or spending the most time playing, or the most time playing. And then they just go on and talk about this is some of the things they're bringing to the 2.0 official launch. It's not out yet. It's in beta. I signed up for it. I think it's going to be really, really fun. That's probably them throwing shade at Epic Games. Probably.
Yeah.
But knowing Good Old Games, they needed to do something anyway. They needed to do something that got them to the table. Because everybody's been asking for them to do something for years now, and they're finally answering the call. And me and you have been on this show talking about how about it be cool if one platform did everything, and we didn't have to go very far. And imagine, and I'm going to say this, imagine Good Old Games came out with their own voice client like Discord. Imagine that baked in with servers, with everything, so you don't have to, you could play your games and chat at the same time without having to leave the platform with good servers.
You mean something that's not going to disconnect all the time, like Steam voice chat?
Something like that, or like a Discord, a better Discord if they wanted to. They got so many opportunities they could do with Galaxy 2.0.
I think I'm going to download that tonight and give it a whirl.
What, the 2.0?
Yeah.
You're part of it?
I'm pretty sure all I gotta do is log in and I'll get it, because I'm one of the old day one customers or day one accounts or whatever. I'm a legacy account.
Gotcha, because they're making me sign up for the beta. They're like, literally, we'll email you when it comes available. Like, okay. It's all good.
I like games though.
What I think is really cool what they're doing is that they're connecting all platforms and making it seamless.
You're not wrong, JC. He says, or using your phone to talk to your friends. Cough, Nintendo.
Cough, Nintendo.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, I can't believe they did that shit.
Well, Nintendo's kind of dropping the ball. That's why they're bringing Xbox Live to. That's why they're bringing Xbox Live to.
Nintendo.
Yeah. Yep, to Nintendo, because they got to fix their problems. Hey, you know the funny part about Nintendo is if you plug in a headphone jack with the headset in it, it works. They just don't want to give you that feature. And that's just the shitty part of that. It's very weird.
It is weird.
And for what I've seen here is I'm seeing did the summer games hit Overwatch already? Is that a thing? Because I see a whole new map on Overwatch. I'm seeing somebody play right now, so makes me want to play Overwatch now because I've seen a new map. That's weird. And then meanwhile, Brimstone's been playing that Paladins left and right.
Yeah, so yeah, we can end it off with like what we've been playing. Why not? Let's do that. I have been hooked on Paladins again, and I've been hit. It's like I've been hit with the Paladins bug. Like I can't get over it. Like I've gotten into the competitive scene really, really strong. Like my first qualification matches, I'm gold 2 right now, and I'm gonna be hitting diamond hopefully by the end of next week.
Courage. That shit's funny.
Fucking love
JC.
Bro, I don't know what it is with me, dude. Like ever since I started playing Overwatch competitively, like it opened up this whole like competitive thing with me for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, I love to join you on the whole competitive Overwatch thing. I just don't know what platform you want to do it on.
True.
I say we go. I say we go on console and just dominate because it's the most easiest thing. Get our platinums and be done. I'm just kidding.
Why stop at platinum? Let's go Grandmaster.
Well, I noticed on the PS4 on Overwatch, it's the most easiest thing since sliced bread. Like, if you go watch footage on my Twitch channel, you'll see, like, the people on Overwatch on PS4, they just stand there and they take it. That is just the saddest thing.
I watched you, dude. I've seen some of the moves you were doing the other day when you were streaming. I was trying to catch you on before you got off, and you're doing a lot of the same shit you were doing on PC. You were wiping out entire teams with Diva.
Yeah.
Like, that was ridiculous, dude. Like, the first thing I see when I see this guy on, he launches her ult right in the middle of this group, and they don't even move. Like, I'm like, really?
Hey, dude, 45 elims, we'll say that. 45 elims in a game. And I have people literally messaging me on PS4 going, oh, this is an alt account, bro. Come on. And I'm like, no, this is not an alt account. You can go check stats. Go ahead, check stats. I mostly play on PC. And I had some guy wanting to fight me about it. Oh, this is a Smurf account, bro. Come on, you're not fooling me. And I'm like, this is my main account, dude. I don't have another account.
Dude, like, it's pretty funny to watch, though. Like, I've watched you shit on these dudes on PlayStation, and I've thought about it. I was like, yo, like,
Overwatch is $19 right now.
Overwatch on fucking PS4? Considering it.
It's easy. It's an easy victory for ranked. It's literally ranked and non-ranked. It's so much fun just to play against console players.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We didn't get to talk about that.
And it's the same. Also, too, it's the same on Call of Duty on PS4. Like, it's night and day from PC to PS4. I know there's aim assist. I get it. I so get it. You know what I mean? I so get it. But it's an amazing thing.
So, yes. So I was at work when I felt it. I was literally in a slot machine, working on a slot machine, and all the machines around me were shaking like you wouldn't fucking believe. Now, mind you, I live in Arizona, so where I work is in Nevada. And to feel it all the way out here...
You were in the epicenter of it because it was in the Mojave Desert. Aren't you really close to the Mojave Desert?
Yeah.
So you were in the epicenter.
I thought it was the one that was in Cali, though. Everybody was convinced it was from Cali.
Okay, so the first one, so I've experienced 5 of them. So we had we had 2 major ones. We had the one on 4th of July, because I'm in Southern California, so I was in kind of the epicenter of it. So I'm kind of in the tail end epicenter way. So on the 4th of July, we had here was a 4.5. Now they called it a 6.5 at the epicenter, and that one was on Ridgeline. That was Ridgeline. Then the next one was the Mojave Desert. That's why you were able to feel it the way you felt it. You felt it stronger than I did. It was
like everybody around me were freaking out, dude. Like when you have, because we were in a busy night, so I was thinking, because I work in a casino and it's multi-tiered, so I was thinking, sometimes that happens. You get a lot of people in there. You're gonna start feeling the, a little bit of a vibrations from like over 2,000-3,000 people. No, this was beyond vibration. This was straight up shaking, and I thought the fucking machine was gonna come down on me.
Yeah, the 7.1 was the one in the Mojave Desert. That one spanned across California, Nevada, and Arizona. Because that fault line goes through Nevada and Arizona, and it's crazy. Like, I had friends of mine from Arizona, like yourself, that were like, dude, I felt the holy motherfucker. And I'm like, yeah, you're in the epicenter. I got the 4 point. So that one, the 7.1, where I was a 4.5, 4.6. It shifted my house enough to where it woke me up out of bed. That one was like 8 o'clock at night, literally back, forth, and I felt the house like move. And the first thing I thought of, let's get into a crevice, a doorway, or like, doorway, because I felt like everything was just going to literally drop and break, in my room. So I was bracing for the worst. And then when I ran outside, my pool was like the ocean, literally back and forth. And I was like, holy shit. And then we had another one on Saturday that week. We had another one on Saturday that was another almost 5.0 here, which was it was a 6.6. And then there was another one on Sunday after that was a 6.3. So, and then to boot, we've had thousands of aftershocks and thousands of other ones. But we were due for the big one. This one was the 7.1 that you're talking about, the Ridgeline or the Mojave Desert one, is one of the biggest ones that we've had since 1999.
I was living in California in '99. I remember that shit.
And then they had Northridge, which was in 1994, which was the one that destroyed everything and broke bridges and shit like that.
I slept through that one.
So nobody here was. I mean, mine is businesses, with shit coming off the shelf. We were very lucky here not to have buildings shatter, because now they make these buildings earthquake proof supposedly. So that shit doesn't happen again, where they just crumble and fall apart and kill massive amount of people. They make them now with the new technology that we have. A lot of our buildings were made in 2000, 2001. So a lot of them are made to be earthquake proof, supposedly. What our governor said. And then also, also I heard too that there's a huge hurricane that hit recently. Barry, that's been hitting the shit out of the Katrina area again, Mississippi and all that. I feel sad for them with the massive amount of flooding and whatnot. I just couldn't imagine that. So I feel bad for them. Everybody, being forced out of their homes because of flooding and losing everything. That's just tragically sad. Like, I know, we're talking about earthquakes, but, talking about what's happening in the middle of the freaking Midwest, East, it's kind of sad. With all the hurricanes and the freaking, this weather's been interesting this year. I have never seen the extreme heat like this before. And earthquakes to go with it.
Did I tell you what it got up to it down here at my house?
What, 112? 115?
119 degrees.
Oh, yeah. My uncle was complaining. He was literally 2 degrees below you in Palm Springs. He was like, dude, it was unbelievable.
Dude, 119, bro. Like, fuck me, dude. Like, we got to the car knowing this.
And you sat down in your car. Do you have leather seats in your car, or is it cloth?
Cloth.
Oh, thank God.
It was still
sitting in leather seats.
It was still fucking hot, dude. It was ridiculous. Jesus. India was at 110? Yeah, that's about right.
India, it's been not India, but I think I've been seeing in the Middle East, like you got like the rain has been unbelievable. I think a friend of ours, Paragon, literally the weather was unbelievable.
We got teased with rain. There was like overcast for like
same here
for like 2 days. And I was like, sweet, it's gonna fucking rain finally. Nope. Not here.
Like what was it today? It was 101 degrees. And they said, "Oh, we're going down in the weather." No, we're not. And then you get the humidity behind that in the morning, the humidity before the sun comes out. And it's like I just can't wait for the fall, winter time to hit. I'm already done with summer. Put a fork in me, I'm done.
Bro,
just
you're
overturn me.
You're not wrong, dude. Like, we went outside after our shower. And I felt like I needed to take another shower. Like, as soon as we started driving towards Nevada, it was not even.
You were dead.
Dude,
you were dying.
5 minutes later, dude, like, I was feeling weird. The heat got to me pretty bad. I went and got coffee. Oh, God. I didn't even want to drink my coffee, bro. Like, I'm a coffee hound. Like,
I just wanted to go to bed.
Dude, that's all I've done since I got home, dude. When I was in Vegas, we did a lot more than this. Like, on our days off, we were walking around, we were doing stuff.
It was cooler outside.
It was cooler out there. Bro, I come back home and it's like Yeah, I was gonna stream today, but not in a 112-degree room. Ugh,
What
dude.
was so here it's been 101, 110, 111, 112, and it's like it's not like settled down. And like in my room, because I have the old mason walls, um it holds in the heat. It holds in the fucking heat. So when you come in this room, it's like a sauna, dude. You feel it. You feel what's going outside. Like, oh my god, I just went outside and it feels the same in here.
I know the feeling, dude. This is all brick down here, dude. I live in a brick house. I live in a brick-built pizza oven.
Mine is made from what is it, mesh and fucking wiring. When it's cold, it's cold. When it's hot, it's hot. And it's an old 1952 story house, and air conditioning. So when you turn on the AC here, since we have new central heating on both sides, one's like a little bit older than the other. Literally, my air conditioning is struggling to keep this room cool. Literally struggling because it's so hot.
Yeah, if you push your AC too far, you could actually burn out the fucking motor.
Yeah.
Which I've done because it gets so hot down here, and we ended up having to replace the entire AC, the air handler, the fucking motor outside. $12,000.
Well, my mom's, so we have two air conditionings because my house is so big. So we have two, one for the back half of the house and one for the front. And we recently got the one a year ago, and this is like a 3-ton or something like this, something big. And it has a 2-stage cooling on it, which is cool. It lightly blows the cool air, but it keeps you really cold. So that's why I like going to the front of the house, because literally that air conditioning is the shit. Mine just blows all the time. It's one of those, before they started doing the 2-step thing, it just literally blows and keeps blowing. It doesn't shut off. Even with the Nest smart system that we have in the house, it does not keep it, off.
That's because the heat is hitting the fucking the unit so hard, dude. So it's like it's thinking it's hotter in the house than it really is. Yeah. We had the same issue with the original AC unit in here. Like, it was nice. It kept it nice and cold, but fuck, dude, my electric bill was ridiculous.
But I could see a quality between Carrier. I think the one back here is Carrier, and then Lextor. I can see a quality difference between like good quality shit and then down quality shit. You know what I mean?
You have Linux, right?
Yeah, Lextor, Linux, something really nice. Like really high end, like the highest you can go before you hit the next highest. Buy them. It's my mom.
Yeah,
my mom did not want to go cheap.
We didn't go cheap either, dude. We got like an 18-series unit, and it's huge, fucking massive. The air handler had to be custom made for this house. Like,
oh Jesus,
that's how ridiculous it got. Because they said that if I was to go with a standard unit, it wouldn't work. They're like, it's not gonna last you. You have to have a custom, because they have two different types of central air conditioning. They have what they call an upflow and a downflow. Unfortunately, this house is an upflow. So
oh shit!
It has to literally pump the hot air from the top of the house down, and then blow out the cool air from the bottom up.
Oh, it's not like mine where it sucks the air up and then it brings cool air down. Oh, well,
no,
sucks.
It brings cool air down. It brings cool air down, but in a really funky way, because like we have the air ducts here, but then there's air ducts running through the ceiling of the house. So by the time all that cold air gets up to the top, it's not really that cold when it goes through. So it sucks. It's like, ugh. Yeah.
It's like my grandmother's house. Yep. Out in Corona. Yep. I remember that. So the reason why we went with the high-end machine, because we had a machine that was literally on its last leg. To find out all the shit inside was dead. And to find out that we could have had a fire up in our roof. Literally, that's how old the machine was. So it was on its last leg.
They said the same thing about our shit too. They were like, "We're surprised your house is still here."
Yeah.
Because they said the cooling unit was from like the 1960s.
Well, mine was made in 2001, and the person that did it brought in a third party, not a main unit. It was like an off-brand. So my mom thought she was cutting corners back then doing that way when we were remodeling the house. And what ended up happening was the guy, when he came in to look at our ducting and everything, he said, I am so surprised that you were able to last with this knockoff unit for so long. Like, you could have had a fire. And then when they went up there, they found some dead rodent up there. He's like, he's laughing his ass off going, I'm surprised he didn't start your fire. And I was like, oh, well,
Bro,
thank goodness for that.
dude, like, the 1960s, they did some janky shit in this house, dude. Like, like, the air handler that's over here next to me, the original one, the wiring that they did on this thing, they put right directly underneath where the condensation tray is. So like the water was dripping into the wiring and shorting out everything. Yeah. And the guy said, well, it's going to cost you more money for me to come out here and replace these wires. I'm like, how much? And they're like, it's going to cost about $3,000 for each electrical component to be replaced. I was like, are you serious? He's all, yeah.
And then to boot, we have to take it out underneath there so it doesn't happen again and put it somewhere else.
So, yeah.
Which is going to cost you more money.
Yeah, so I said, fuck it, let's just do it. 12 grand though, dude. It was so much money, dude. But
hey, but it's worth it for the safety, and it's worth for your house not blowing up in a fire. You know what I mean? It's the same like ours. You know, I was so grateful my mom did it because it could have been 10 times worse. I mean, ours is much more expensive than yours, but we need a whole new unit. And my mom, because our house being so big, we have to have 2 AC units in this house because it's so big. Mm-hmm. Because if we do just one big ton, it's just gonna die in itself. Yeah, trying to cool so many rooms.
This house, see, the reason why we went with the one we got is because this is a 2,000 plus square foot home. So,
got you.
So the top floor is completely separate from down here. Like, there's a staircase behind me. That's the only thing that's keeping us separate.
Got you.
For it to substantially cool everything, I had to go with that fucking $12,000 unit.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was... And it's not even that cool down here. I might actually still need to buy another fucking AC for down here.
Yeah, you're kind of in that same boat. You're in that same boat that my mom's in, where she had to... Well, reason why we have 2 units in this house is because of that reason. We have 6 bedrooms. Keep that in mind. 3 bathrooms, and literally, it's a huge house. And when the sun beats on it, dude, because of the old walls, dude, oh my god, like the air conditioning's so worth it.
So I know you like to grow shit, right? We were talking about this the other night. We're both kind of the same. We have green thumbs. There's this vine you can grow on the side of your house. And the bigger it gets, it'll keep your house cool. Like, it's supposed to absorb sunlight like a sponge.
Also, another thing I'm thinking about investing into, since we get the full month of the sun, and my mom and myself have been talking about it, is solar energy.
Yes.
Just to cut back on the a lot of my neighbors are doing it. In fact, we're having a shortage here in Orange County, where people are buying out homes here so much that there's a shortage of people that want to be here that can't get into a home. It isn't that weird. That stat came out the other day in the newspaper. I was like, what in the hell? But yeah, the house right down the street from my house that's sold for like literally 900 grand, literally immediately.
Dude,
somebody bought it for that much money.
People have been buying up houses out here. That's why we're looking into selling soon, and probably getting into something that's a little bit more weather friendly. Like,
weather friendly, yeah. Don't blame you there. Don't blame you.
But yeah, we're coming up on the hour-and-a-half mark. Did you wanna end it here so that way because I know you have another podcast to do. So.
Let's go check something here. Dun, 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 dun. No, we can keep going. He's still streaming. No, you're good.
All right. Man.
And keep in mind, he looks withered. Keep in mind, he's been streaming for 8 hours. He looks withered. Gotta give it to Coco Sports, man. He's withered.
Yeah.
Come to Florida. Yet no. No.
Bro,
Hell no. When you have gators on the side of the road, no.
You know what's
Can't
funny?
convince
You know
me.
what's funny though? Like I'm such a reptile and animal person. I would probably enjoy that.
Well, my aunt used to live in Florida, and we used to go down there every year. And they have to have a in her pool. They had to have a netting system within their pool because of the shit that the reptiles and shit that get into it. It's crazy. I didn't even know that even is a thing.
Bro, like, okay, so like a lot of people freak out when they have like pythons and shit in their yard. Bro, I would let it live in my backyard. I'd be like,
reptiles don't bother me.
I would feed that bitch. I'd like, all right, you're keeping the rodents off my property. We're good. We're good. You could stay there for as long as you want.
Reptiles don't bother me. I think they're cool.
I love reptiles, dude. Like, I
would love to own a hedgehog.
Hedgehogs are cool. Yeah, hedgehogs are cool. Dude, they have a huge python problem out there because people were buying, like in the early 90s, they were buying out, like they were going to the reptile conventions out there and they were buying rosy boas, right? And they got big enough to a point where like the families, I don't know if it was because it got too big or what, because rosy boas aren't supposed to be that big. Rosy boas are supposed to be somewhat small.
Yeah.
And these people, like, they were just turning them loose out in the fucking wilderness, out in Florida. And so, and so now they have, like, this massive snake problem out there with pythons, rosies, fucking blood pythons. Like, and a lot of reticulate just being let loose out in the wilderness. So people are finding fucking pythons and shit in their bathtubs, in their fucking toilets, and their sewage lines. Like, I'm like, dude, like, these fucking people are idiots. So you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to release these animals into your wilderness. Throws off the whole ecosystem. Fucking retards.
Welcome to our world, man. You know, can I going back to the easy triggered, man? What is up with this world, man? Like, I you know, like, I come on just to enjoy my games, not to argue about platforms. You know, speaking, you know, I know we're talking a little bit longer than we usually do, but I just don't understand this day and age anymore. You know, the whole thing, you know, reason why we come together on Discord and whatnot is to have fun. You know, I just don't understand why we have to fight over platforms. That's my whole thing. Like, why do we have to fight so tooth and nail when the whole point is we're getting online to discuss video games and have a good time? I mean, that's the one thing I still haven't understood. You know, the last 2 years, everybody's just so easily triggered over, are we really becoming this way in society?
Right.
I just don't know. I just don't get it.
You know, I've noticed, like, anytime we can all get together on something, there always has to be that group of people that has to be apparently against it. Like, they have to be against it. They cannot, because they look at it as, well, I'm not going to conform. I'm going to be a rebel. And it's like, dude, like, I get the rebel mentality. I get, like, not wanting to be a lemming. Like, I understand all of that. But you don't need to hate on somebody because of the shit they do. Especially when it comes to gaming.
Well, here's my thing is, when did it become, I can't have my opinion, but you can have yours, and your opinion needs to be mine? You know, I've noticed that as of late with people. It's like, no, but I want my opinion. Oh, your opinion sucks. You need to be on my side. If you're not on my side, but I thought you were my friend. No. I mean, I'm like, okay. Alrighty, okay. And then after, when they come back down to earth, right, from wherever high end they're in, they're like, oh, well, you know, I was just triggered, you know. I was just mad. And I'm like.
About video games.
Yeah, like, isn't the whole point, if, you know, the whole point you were triggered, we could have been gaming and having a great blast, just joking around. And instead, that just became literally a 7-hour event over nothing. And that's not just what that situation that took place on my Twitch. It's a lot of people lately. And it's like even me being on a PS4, people are so triggered. Oh, what? You're not playing on a PC today? What's wrong with you? It's like, yeah, PC's great.
Bro, we have a mutual friend. I won't mention his name, and it's not the Twitch situation either. That he cannot, for the life of him, try anything new, at all. He hated Quake Champions. He used to tell me all the time Quake Champions is a garbage game. It's not Quake, and I'm like,
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. And then the same person told me, Doom is trash. It's a trash game. It sucks. Doom isn't good. But then, like, he turns around, like, his friend buys it for him, and now all of a sudden, it's a great game.
I'm gonna say this too, and this goes back to that Epic Games thing real quick. Those people that are moaning and groaning, I guarantee when your friends are playing it, you're gonna be that same guy that's going to go, oh, well, I'm going to buy it anyway now because my friends are playing it and they enjoy it. So I want to get in on the party. So guess what you're going to look like? That hypocrite. That hypocrisy is going to be real because you're going to see your friends playing it and you don't want to sit on the sidelines. It's okay. But if you're that guy that has to scream and pitchfork and knife, then don't support the product at all. Vote with your wallet. Don't even buy it on Steam. Don't even wait for a deal.
I used to say the same. Dude, you're saying the same shit that I have been saying for over a decade on this platform, dude. Like, I have said this. I have said this even back when I was a fan man of Sony. Like, I loved Sony so much that.
And what changed with that though? That's the $1 million question. What changed?
What changed is they started practicing all the shit that we used to speak up about that Microsoft did.
Oh, that's understandable.
You know what I mean?
So when are you dusting off that PS4 to come play with me? When's that happening?
Probably after we get done with the stream. I was actually thinking about it. Actually, I got that. I have a controller still charged, so yeah, I might be doing that tonight. Play some Overwatch on there.
Gotcha. And I know you were looking at SSDs. I would get a 1 terabyte SSD if I were you. For cheap by Silicon Power.
I was just going to use the SSD as a boot drive anyway. I'm going to use it to store.
Gotcha. I'm 500 gigs all the way, or 250.
I was thinking about, because that's a Linux-based system, right?
Yeah.
So I could just use my old Kingston. It'll use that SSD like it was brand new again. So I was thinking.
Yeah, all you got to do is give it the PlayStation update. That's all that would be. And make sure your PlayStation's deactivated before you even install the new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So like I said, I was thinking about buying another 4 terabyte for the PlayStation. And that will be my third 4 terabyte that I have now.
I will say this story too. So this week, this is gaming related. AverMedia, guys, I'll tell you this. AverMedia, the company as a whole, been so nice to me this week. Their staff has been so good with me on Twitter. They've reached out, they want to help me, and they want to help the problems that I'm having. And they said if they can get this fixed, they're going to bring out an update for all cards. Because if it's not one, it's probably multiple cards having the same problem. And I wanted to say this on the show that AverMedia, I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, but
they're a pretty solid group. They'll respond to you regardless if you're a big
I will stick with my card. I was talking about returning it and getting the Extreme. You know, the one that you have, the second gen of what you have. But the thing is, with me, is I'm kind of coming to the boat that if they've been so nice about this card with me, then I'm just going to stick with it just on the principle of them being so nice to me, treating me right. Unlike another company called Elgato that just doesn't want to get their head out of their ass and realize the customer matters.
Don't you mean Corsair?
Corsair, yeah.
That's what kills me, dude. Like I like Corsair. I love Corsair. Like I'll just straight up say it. I love Corsair for what they do with PC gaming, but their capture shit after they consumed Elgato, I will never buy an Elgato product from them ever.
I just can't buy another Corsair anything. I've had bad keyboards with them, mice from them. I've just had a really soured experience with them. I had a nice, beautiful strafe keyboard. Guess what happened to that keyboard? Had it for 2 years, and the damn thing like started shitting bricks on me.
It turned into a Razer product.
Yeah, like certain keys stopped working.
Yeah.
My Windows button just did not want to work, and then all of a sudden, all of a sudden, like randomly, my computer wanted to restart because I guess they have a restart function on the keyboard, and it automatically would be triggered automatically, like the keyboard was malfunctioning, and I get hold of their customer service, send it out to them, and they would tell me, oh, there's nothing wrong with the keyboard. It's perfectly fine. That's on you. And then I'm like, okay, and get it back, and it's doing the same shit over and over again. You know what I mean? They just send you back the same shit. They want to do that with the Elgato cards that I've had. They do not want to release firmware. They do not want to release like updated software to you. That's where I give AverMedia credit on. They're building their software from the ground up to help you. And they also stated to me that they want to, about Linux, they're working on something for Linux. They did say driver support is coming to Linux eventually. They said they're working on it, bringing their ReCentral software over. They already brought it over to Mac, which is a disaster for what I've heard, but at least it's there. And it works fantastic with OBS over there. So I will be pushing AverMedia a lot. Now, I do have their card, and I've not had it for a while. I've not had it for a long time yet. But I'll probably give it a semi-review, not a full review.
Dude, like, that's why I was trying to tell you before, like, AverMedia, dude, like, when it works, right, the colors are better, it's sharper image, the details are a little bit more refined, there's like almost no ghosting on it when you record with it. It actually is a clear recording. That's what I was trying to tell you before. Like, when I had my Elgato, I didn't experience any of that. In fact, I experienced all the opposite shit. I had ghosting. The colors were shit. I had blurring like you wouldn't believe. It was just ridiculous.
Well, my last experience before I often got rid of mine was the fact that it lagged. I noticed the USB Type-C on any of my computers, it was just lagging. Like, I would get into, you could see stuttering. Now, I'll give AverMedia their credit to a certain extent. Theirs is all driver-related problems and firmware problems. Because this card is new. It's not been out on the market very long. 5 months since February. So it's not been out that long. So I give them credit. And your card works great. I've heard nothing but good things from you about that.
Yeah, I had issues with it for a little while, but I figured out what that issue was, and that was on Behringer's end, not their end. They had a driver suite that you had to install with my interface, and then later found out that uses the same drivers, audio drivers, as the AverMedia stuff. So when you had that shit running in Tangent, I would get
overrided everything.
Yeah, it would lag, it would freeze, it skipped. I uninstalled the Behringer shit, went with the default driver setting, and guess what? Boom, fixed the issue right off the bat.
So I'll say this: they'll probably get it fixed here. Usually, AverMedia is usually on point when they because I've had other AverMedia products. My Live Gamer Portable 2 lasted forever until it sizzled and died. I had it for 4 years. It was a great card. And then I had the HD, what was it? The Live HD 30 FPS card, great card. And then my next card from this one here, I told my mom I'm gonna hold it on. I'm gonna hold on until they impress. I may use this card as a camera link thing for a camera maybe down the road, over a webcam.
Yeah.
And just use that, and then I may buy the internal capture card from them, the HD2. I know it's a 4K. I know it's a 4K box. I get it, but it's really selling for a good price. And if you can catch it on sale right now, you can get it for like $120. Like, AverMedia cards are literally really good prices. Like, they never and for the price you're getting, for that cheap price, you're getting quality.
I got mine for what was it, 65, 60?
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Yeah, dude. Fucking Amazon was like, we'll knock it down for you, because it was like 175, I think.
I think their Live Extreme 2 that they have out right now is literally 145, and then if you find it on deals, it's usually 130 to 120, and that's not breaking the bank at all, really. And you go look at an Elgato card, and you're just like $175, $180, and you're freaking the hell out because
let's buy their studio lights for $600 a piece. Fucking.
Or buy their Stream. I want to buy their Stream Deck, but at the same time, I'm looking at it going, Yeah, you're going to have issues.
Get one from Xenix. So Xenix has one on Amazon you can get for like $40, I think, and it's got like 10 buttons on there, and you could do the same shit that Elgato has. I'd say just get a Xenix one. Fuck it.
I didn't even know they did. That's new. I didn't even know that. Blew my mind with that one. And guys, if you're looking for capture cards right now, if you're in the market, I know a lot of my friends are getting into streaming from a PS4 or a Nintendo Switch. Just go with the Chinese cheap cards. Seriously, you wouldn't be breaking the bank.
They are actually really good. They are really good. Like, I have seen videos upon videos upon videos of those things. There's
what is it? The Pengo or Pentago, Pentago or something like that.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Level 1's Tech has talked about it. Eva's Vox has talked about it. I heard it's like the darling of cheap cards right now going on for like $75.
Anchor, the same one that does Bluetooth speakers, has a card.
Really? Mm-hmm. Interesting. Very, very interesting. And you know what's funny?
Yeah.
All these cheap cards all work on Linux.
Yeah, because it's plug and play.
Plug and play. I think they're using the UMC drivers. Yep.
You don't need any of the stupid shit that you have to worry about with Elgato, and even with AverMedia. Like AverMedia, you have to have a driver suite for it. But
actually, no. With my card, it's plug and play.
Oh, is it
on
really?
Linux? Plug and play. Any of the AverMedia cards are just plug and play nowadays. That's what I've been told.
So if you want to play Overwatch on PS4, we got to end this soon.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, and I got another show. Once his name gets done doing a show, man. God, he's playing Madden like, dude, he's going to be on there for a while.
So we're going to go ahead and get out of here. I just want to say thank you guys for stopping by.
Let's see, a mirror box for $100 on Amazon.
There you go.
I just don't know shit about capture cards. Yeah, that's not a bad deal. There's a pen. I'll put a link here. Hold on, real quick before we end the show. Talking about capture cards, I'll put a link in here for you. Here, I'll send you one. Here, actually, I'll send you the one of mine, just because I'm an AverMedia. I like AverMedia. Now, if you can find this one on a deal, literally for $100, it's selling for $130. But if you can find, a lot of places are giving it away for cheap. If you can find it, I'd just go AverMedia, just straight up, go name brand. That's just me though. You can't go wrong. And if you really want to go cheap on AverMedia, you can go get the card that our friend that passed away a while ago had for a long time. So did I. Was the AverMedia, what is it? The Live Gamer Lite card. 30 FPS though, keep that in mind. Great card. Can't go wrong. It's $79 on Amazon right now. Can't go wrong. Here, it's called the here, I'll just put the name of it in here because, you know, YouTube will not let me post the link from Amazon, but there you go. That's what it's called if you want to look for something. It's 30 FPS, keep in mind. It's going to look a little weird because Windows doesn't operate 30 FPS very well. So, anyway.
I just want to say thank you guys for watching this episode of Game Talk Podcast. I know it's been a little bit since we did our last show, but we're back on track again. We're going to be doing this on this day, which is Sunday, technically going into Monday. Graveyard night, technically. I hope you guys enjoy.
Are we doing it once a week or twice a week?
Once.
Once a week, all right.
Once, yeah.
Cool, cool.
Hopefully we'll get some more video content to the channel other than just this. Because I've noticed, like, some people have been asking for it. So, our small audience, why not? So, maybe we'll see some other stuff in the future. I'm not going to give you guys any promises because, quite frankly, I'm pretty lazy when it comes to, getting off of work. The last thing I want to do is video production. I'm not going to lie. But no, seriously.
And one day a week is that's pretty cool. One big show per week that we cover everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like a WAN show. It's pretty great.
Kind of. Yeah, it's pretty good. But thank you guys. Thank you, JC, Caesar, and anybody else that has come in and just given us a view, giving us the thumbs up, sharing us on Twitter and all the other social media platforms. Really do.
Guys, make sure to check us out on Twitter. The Game Talks podcast or Game Talks. Sorry, the Game Talks. Sorry, the Game Talks pod. Sorry. Also, make sure to check us out on Discord as well if you haven't already. Make sure to check out all the communities we're a part of. Twisted Nation, Streaming and Chill. Is there another one, Brimstone, that I'm missing out on?
Streaming and Chill is there. That's my own personal. Twisted is his and his friends' Discord. It's a big old community of a lot of people. A lot of great
also
people
check out Brimstone on Twitch as well. Check me out on Twitch. That would be RevTech as well. We're doing a lot of content over. Do we want to make that announcement about another channels we're working on? Do we want to put that out there right now?
No, not yet. Not until we get the branding and stuff ready for it.
Okay,
I want to
fair enough.
I'm gonna hit my guy up after we figure out what we're gonna do for the name, and then get the branding done. So.
Got you. So yeah, I just want to get all of our shout outs out of the way. Also, I want to thank, like always, XP for the intro and outro.
Yeah, except I'm not gonna do the outro this time. It's too fucking hot. I have to go to the little boy's room. And
I'm just gonna wave.
I'm gonna go magical fingers. Ah! Bye.